Hi, my name is Carl Violeta Finance, founder and finance broker. Welcome to my latest Ask Carl video. This week's question comes from Tasha. Tasha has asked, is it safe to get a home loan with one of the smaller banks? I've noticed that some of the smaller banks have really good interest rates. Are they safe to go with, or am I better off sticking with one of the big four banks? Tasha, great question, and thanks for sending it through. The answer is yes. Dealing with a smaller bank is just as safe as dealing with the bigger banks. The reason why I say this is because in this country, all Australian banks are governed by the Australian Prudential Regulations Authority, or APRA for short. Now, this governing body has been created by the Australian government to oversee the whole financial system, just to make sure that all lenders in this country are providing the highest of standards with regards to the banking needs of the general public. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention about smaller banks is that they can offer really sharp interest rates because their business model is completely different to the big four. So in a smaller bank scale, generally there's no branches. So if you want to deal with them, you got to deal with them over the phone, over the internet, on emails, or through your broker, right? The fact that you're dealing with a broker, and if the brokers introduce you to one of the smaller banks, then if you ever find that you've got some questions or have some teething problems initially with getting into with just being set up with that particular home loan, then go back to your broker. Use your broker and get them help to set up the issues that you may have with that particular smaller bank. And once it gets set up with that smaller banks, it's really just clockwork with the home loan, because at the end of the day, a direct debit is set up with your main bank that you use for everyday banking. And once that automatic repayment gets set up properly, then there should be no issues going forward. So the fact that they don't have branches and you deal with them, online, so to speak, it is one of the reasons why they can offer very, very sharp pricing and sharp interest rates. So for this very reason, I would consider dealing with the smaller banks. And if you've got any issues with the smaller banks, then go back to your broker. This is something that I do for my business, where if I've introduced clients to a smaller bank and they've had issues initially in the start getting things set up, then I would assist and help to mitigate certain issues with the right divisions in that bank to help that customer get a good experience with that particular bank. I'd like to thank you for tuning in tonight. Great question, Tasha. Keep those questions rolling through, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you. Bye for now.